Namaste. Breakups and self-belief. What is the path to neurospiritual sovereignty? You have all of these emotions after a breakup. You feel that you're tied down to this person. You gotta get a text message. You gotta get a phone call. You gotta talk to somebody that will make you feel better, or you might need to put your hands on something that you don't want to. Video games, alcohol, drinking, whatever the case looks like. In my case, I have my pets, I have YouTube, and I have, oh, he just left. He sometimes will stay. You guys don't get to see him that often. Let's close this series out with, well, now we have my other cat that came and replaced him. This 4-part series of first what happens is the trauma and the pain, the resentment that develops because of that, the neurochemicals behind that, and how you can achieve neurospiritual sovereignty. When you do have all of these things that happen to you during a breakup, you're not having some big problem. It could be because of some things that happen when you're younger, but don't identify with that. Don't say it's because of my trauma. Don't let other people say you have a problem, like it's your anxiety, it's your depression, it's your bipolar. Don't let people say that to you. Don't buy into that. You don't want to be the person who identifies with that. You want to be the person that says that, look, I don't have my neurochemicals, my cortisol is not sky high. I don't need that person for me to be loving myself, meaning oxytocin. I don't need that person to say that you're good. I have my own serotonin bond with myself, and I don't need anything quick. I'm ready to stay alone. I'm okay to be alone for the rest of my life. That's dopamine devotion. Something could happen later, but that's not your business. And let me quiet the amygdala, engage the prefrontal cortex by not having this catecholamine surge where my blood pressure is high, where the inflammatory molecules are out of control, and I am just not feeling good about my health. I'm overweight, I'm drinking, I'm drugging, I'm not doing good. I was doing all of those things. I had a cocaine-induced manic episode. I could have been dead. Instead, I'm sober 7 years and talking to you about neurospiritual sovereignty. And if I can do it, you can too. And of course, you know, I'm a board certified practicing family doctor, but that's not the value that I bring to you. I've been in monastic solitude for 10 years. I've been single for almost 8 years on purpose in my life, and I'm here to share that journey with you. Well, monastic is coming on 11 years now, dang. And you know, I just cannot be afraid to be alone anymore. I just cannot be afraid. I gotta do what's within my core values. And before I hated myself, I was talking bad to myself, I was blaming other people. It took me 5 years to go from self-hate to self-love. That is from neurobiologic warfare to neurospiritual sovereignty. And then 2 years on top of that to convince myself that I'm okay, that I do love myself. Finally, I've been in a couple relationships since then, and they've been great. There's things that happen in relationships, of course, you can relate to that. But the same thing didn't happen the last time. I didn't just go on Match. I didn't go on Bumble. I didn't start drinking. I didn't start eating bad because I put the tools in place. I'm sovereign. I'm emotionally free, and that's what I want for you too. I'm going to read some medical evidence from a mind hygiene study, which was studied on 4,100 patients, which were followed through 90 days of writing from 1 to 90 seconds every 90 minutes. And what happened was in this mind hygiene study, remember, it's not a treatment for mental illness. I don't like that. I would rather call it emotional freedom or mind wellness. Because when it comes to mental health, it seems like there's some fix that needs to happen. I don't like to control my mind. I don't want to block my thoughts out. I don't want to let it go. I just want to embrace it. Mind hygiene, a tool, a technique where you can reclaim your personal power, activate your purpose, and create structure around daily discipline. Patients who engage with the practice did not simply feel better, they became more sovereign. Many reference their ability to alchemize past trauma, find meaning in tragedy, and consecrate emotional isolation into deeper faith, action, and confidence. What you can inspire from this is that when you write, you become emotionally sovereign. You don't need anybody else when you validate yourself through your writing. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. I know the numbers may seem hard, 5 years, 7 years, but it could take you that much time. I think that people can achieve this a lot quicker, which would be like a year, year and a half, if they just completely focus on this. Think about it like med school for your mind. Med school is 4 years. I mean, when we come out of med school, we still don't know much. We still got to go to residency. After residency, we kind of get it. And then after that, it's about another year and a half. The most difficult part with patient experiences was me judging myself and then judging them. That took me about 5 years. So you're talking about like 15, 17 years before I'm like, dude, I think I'm a pretty good doctor now. I think I can actually help people and show them empathy. And when you look at all of the reviews I have online, I'm like, dang, I'm a good listener, I'm empathetic. I wasn't like that before. I had to earn that. I studied compassion. I taught myself mindfulness. I earned empathy. I wrote, I stayed alone, I became sober. You can do all of these things too. And when you combine all of these things, you don't need me. You don't need to listen to me. You can write all of these things down. You don't need a bunch of family. Do you see family here? My dog, my cats, and me, and then you guys. You don't need friends. I don't have, look who's here. Is anybody cheering me on? No, nobody cheered me on through my speaking journey and my self-love journey. I don't have a partner. You see a partner here? There's no partner who was like, you got this, babe. Like, I did this by myself. I built myself up when nobody was watching me. That's neurochemical consecration. Neurochemical consecration meaning I just surrender to the neurochemicals. I'm alone. This is what I need to do to decrease the cortisol, increase oxytocin. We'll read about that, which is the bonding hormone. Oxytocin, when you go through a breakup, there's a loss of connection that drops. And then the oxytocin drops too, especially if you depend on this other person, which creates loneliness. But practices that build self-validation, restore oxytocin internally through writing, presence, and compassion. You can have a different baseline of dopamine, and when you get back into a relationship, you'll be ready. At this point, if I get into a relationship, I'm just not worried about like being alone. Like whatever, you know? Like I don't want to be rejected either. There's a large part of me that does not want to be rejected. The good news is that if I'm alone, I'm not going to reject myself. When it comes to serotonin and the mood stabilizer, confidence grows as serotonin regulation improves, stabilizing mood and reducing obsessive loops. And when you engage your prefrontal cortex, which is the executive control, look, I'm going to write. Meaning instead of having, oh, that person didn't text me back, I'm gonna go have a drink. I'm gonna write. Instead of, oh, let me just call up my ex. That's the worst. Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore. Going online, going dating. Oh, namaskara pa. This is my language, namaskara. No, thank you anymore. I'm so happy that I can just depend on myself. When you have this writing, the amygdala, the fear center, doesn't respond, and the hyperactivity is not there of the center, and the hyperreactivity just does not exist. You have less emotional hijack, and you have more space to respond than to react. Think about it like anything. The more you do it, the better you get at it. When it comes to neurospiritual sovereignty, the neurobiology, you're spiritually connected to something else, God, higher purpose, my pets. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುದ್ದಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ಪುಟಾಣಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುದ್ದಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುದ್ದಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ಮಾರಾಯ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮುದ್ದಾಗಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪಡ Look at him making biscuits. I'll say I don't have anybody to talk to in my language. So I'll just say this is neurospiritual sovereignty. The stress hormones have decreased, oxytocin has increased via the pets and me. Sovereignty, I'm free. ಪುಟಾಣಿ ಏನೋ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯ ಬಿಸ್ಕತ್ ಮಾರಾಯ ಆಲೂ ಪರೋಟ ನಾ ಇವತ್ತು ಚಟ್ನಿ ಜೊತೆ ಬೇಕಮ್ಮ I'm like, what are you making today? Are you making aloo parota? I want some chutney with that. Look at him making the biscuits. He's so handsome. Swarna ba? Swarna ba? And look at Swarna. Huh? No, mutkaro. I do have this oxytocin bond with my pets, of course, but you can develop this with yourself. I mean, you're talking about 30% reductions in everything. 30% reductions by having pets. 30% reduction by working out. 30% reduction by eating an anti-inflammatory diet. 40 to 50% reduction by writing. 40 to 50% reduction by continuously doing it. 40 to 50%, 70% reduction by delaying dopamine. Something good will happen later. What you're doing here is you're just training yourself to depend on yourself. You're confident in yourself and you're confident in your limitations, and you're only worrying about yourself. And if you're going through a breakup, that's what I hope for you. If this video resonated with you, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be dropping videos every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please like and share the video if you felt it was beneficial. Namaste.